This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. So before we start, does anyone has any questions on the previous session?
Hey Ram, is this the first session or is there any previous sessions other than demo?
We just had a demo on the session.
No more questions. Thank you.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So again, today also we'll have some basic thing only. First thing is we need an account to log in and to practice, right? For that, you have to go to developer.salesforce.com and do a sign up here. Here you provide your first name, last name, your Gmail ID, which must be working because it will send a verification code. And then role can be anything, and company also can be anything, along with the country and the postal code. And finally, the username. So it must be in the form of an email format. It can be like, let's say, if you see my logins, these are a couple of logins that I have created. You can use either of such emails. Okay. Once you do a sign up, it will send a verification link to your Gmail. Most of you will use email, right? So it will send a verification code to your Gmail link. The moment you click on a verify link, it will ask you to set a password. Once done, you just open some random account. Once it is done, next time once you set the password, go to login.salesforce.com and give your credentials. Okay, then you will be navigating to the Salesforce screen like this. Okay, now what you did, you have registered with Salesforce like the way you do it for LinkedIn or Facebook, any of your social media. But when I'm registering with Salesforce, or especially with my social media, what happens? I'll create an account in that where I can connect with my friends, right? But here you are not creating an account. You are creating a organization. This is called as organization. Okay, in this org, we can start defining our application, defining some other user also, and we can even test whether the access of that user is properly working or not, and we can test multiple features as well. Is this clear, everyone? Which means if I go to users, if you see here, along with my user, the system admin, I do have other users also. They can also access the system. Okay, but this is not that important for now, but I'm just telling you just as a heads up. Okay, now as I am a system admin, because I have created this org, so I'll be the system admin. So as I'm a system admin, the moment I log into the system, so I will be on the setup screen. Okay, Today we'll see how it works for an end user, which means what if I log in as an end user? First of all, why do we need to use Salesforce? Like why end users used to start using Salesforce to access or to process their data in the applications that we have defined, right? Which means as an end user, when I log in, it will automatically allow me to log into some default application, right? So how do I go to the applications? First thing is your app launcher. If you see on the left top corner, there are 9 dots, right? This is called as app launcher. And if you click on view all, then it will show me all the list of applications that are there in my organization if I have access, of course. Because for example here 3 plus 15 applications are there. As I'm a system admin, I can see everything. But if I'm an end user, unless until my admin provides me the access to these applications, I won't be able to see. If my end user decided that okay, Ram will see only sales application or only service application, then I will be tagged to that particular application like this. So the moment I hit on an application, this is how it looks. Clear?
Ram, I have a question here.
Yep.
When you're showing the users, the number of users, right? All
Hmm.
those users are the users for your particular org, or they're
Yeah,
users just for.
they can access only with this org. Whatever applications or whatever the data that I'm defining here, only this org can be visible to them.
So that means when we create the org for the first time, when we open the users, we don't see anybody, right? Except us.
Yes. So there are two default users will be shown, but anyways, those will be given to you only, like
Okay.
analytics and I think some platform user.
Thank you.
But anyways, you can deactivate it. It doesn't matter. See, it is like so as I mentioned, so it's like taking a flat in an apartment. Okay. So after taking my flat, after buying a flat, unless until I allow you to jump into my flat, you can't watch TV in my hall. You can't have a dinner in my kitchen, or you can't sleep in the bed, right? So I should allow you to come into my flat, then only you can start using the features of my house, right? This is how it happens even in Salesforce also. Okay, then now how about other flats other companies are using, like companies like Wipro or companies like CTS or companies like maybe Cloudbase, many other companies are there, right? They'll also buy their own spaces in Salesforce. They pay the licenses, they'll get their own spaces and they'll start using it. So because we are using a shared or a multi-tenant environment. Okay, is that clear? Any questions?
No, we are good.
Uh, Let me go to the Excel sheet before I go there. So what you'll have in Excel sheet? Let us say, let's say I don't know anything about software. Okay, I'm running some business, so I'll have multiple Excel files where I'm capturing the data. So which means let's see how, because Salesforce is a completely or a fully automated tool of Excel. Okay. So as everyone is aware of Excel, so I'm considering this. First, we'll see the difference between Salesforce and Excel. So then we'll go back. Okay, so when I say Excel, then I can have multiple files, right? For example, book one, this is a file, correct? So I'll have files. Every file will have multiple sheets, no? Correct? And every sheet you can define a table, correct? Which means, let's say I want to capture some customer information. Then you'll say customer name, phone, email, city, zip code, etc. etc. Right? And when I say name, I can't give my email there. This is not possible. Right? This is not you are not supposed to give like this. So when I say name, it should be Ram. When I say phone number, it should be whatever the number is. So in the same format I have to give, correct? Throughout the table, correct? Which means you'll have tables here, and every table will have columns, right? Customer name is one column, phone is one column, email is one column, city, zip code. Everyone has its own columns. And what this table will have columns and rows. Rows are nothing but our records. This is where the actual data will be stored. When I say an example, Ram is one column, sorry, one row. 1234 is my phone number. Ram at Gmail is my email. Let's say Bangalore is my city, and 34567 is my zip code. If someone is coming, or if I want to enter the data of someone else, then I have to again say, let's say Anil 4567 a@b.com, Hyderabad. This is how it is, correct? But I cannot say if someone else is coming. I can't say that Vinith here me at h.com. This is wrong, right? This is not the way to capture the details, correct? But your Excel sheet is allowing me, right? So now if I ask, okay, if it is a mistake, is this a mistake? Yes. But why my Excel sheet is allowing me? Because you cannot do that such restrictions, and you'll say, Ram, start using your common sense. If you see customer name, you have to go with customer name till the end of the table in column B. In column C, you have to provide the phone number likewise, right? So when it comes to Salesforce, we can provide such restrictions. I can define whether it is a number field or an email field or a text field. All these things also can be done. Now, how it works in Salesforce. So, where does this file store on your system, right? And now you logged into Salesforce. This is an online application or online tool, right? In this, I will have applications, sheets. So, what is the purpose of sheet? It helps me to access the data of that particular table, correct? Let's go back. So these are nothing but, if you compare with Excel, these are the different files that we have. In this, I'm opening Salesforce file. Okay. So in Excel, sheets are there at the bottom, but here we'll have at the top. But the technical name for a sheet in Salesforce is tabs. What is the purpose of your sheet? It helps me to access the data of a table. Same here. Even tab also helps me to access the data of the table. But the technical name for a table in Salesforce is object. Okay. So which means opportunity tab allows me to access the data of opportunity object. Leads tab allows me to access the data of lead object. Accounts tab allows me to access the data of account object. Similarly, contacts and even campaigns. Any questions? Anyone? And here you have columns. Here also we have columns. But when I'm creating a new row here, you'll directly add a row here, right? But the how do we add a new record here in the system? You have to click on new button so that a new window comes with all placeholders that are there in that particular table. Start providing your inputs. So which means columns are nothing but fields here. Rows are nothing but, and every row it has some number. 5 is one row number, 6 is one row number, 7 is one row number, and I don't have a control, right? So here also, so these are nothing but the row numbers. Here you'll have row numbers, here you'll have record IDs. Any questions? How do we see the record ID? I can see row number, right? This is the ID of a record. ID of the record will be generated automatically by Salesforce the moment you create a. Any questions till now? So I just brought this comparison so that we can understand the technical terms of Salesforce easily. Great. Now, then Ram, what is this? Uh, for example, I know there are certain records which has a string called oil. Type oil and enter. It's not searching. And search for it. It's case sensitive actually. See, the moment I type United, because you have to give the first string. So the moment I type United, if you see here, it has shown the results. Like when I type United and click on enter bar, it has shown the result, and it says that there are 5 records on accounts object, 5 plus in contacts, 5 plus in opportunities, and if you see on the left side campaigns there is 0, customer 0, report 0, city customer 0, MP 0, all these are zeros. What does it mean? The moment I start searching for a particular string and that search bar, in this search bar, then what it's doing is it works like your Google search. But what does your Google search do? Whatever the name that I type, it will search for that particular string across the server, right? Across the entire Google server, and you will get one or the other results if it is there. Similarly, when I search for a particular string, It will search for that string across the Salesforce org within this org. It will search for across the objects and it will show you the results. Okay, and that is why this search bar is called as global search. Okay, this is called as Google search, right? So search engine, but here we call this as global search, which will allow me to see any records in the system. Okay, now let us say I'll open okay, this opportunity. I'm working on this opportunity, for example, and maybe I'm planning for a vacation from tomorrow for 3 4 days, and I'll be back on next Monday. Again, definitely, so I may not be able to remember this. Again, I have to search for it. Instead of doing the search again and again, I can simply say I want to add this as my favorite, so that whatever the tab that I'm on or whatever the screen that I am on, I'll just go to this list. I'll open this, and it will be easy. Or I can. It basically allows me to create a shortcut for me, and I can start working on it. Okay, this is how I can make a record, a particular record as my favorite record, where I can start working. And let's say my job is done now. This is not important because it says that it's closed one. So I'll come here, click on edit favorites, and I can remove this. So we are removing from the favorite list. We are not deleting the record. Okay. Then if you click on plus, then it says global actions. What is a global action? For example, so I'm a sales agent in the organization. So I went to my customer, I got a new contact today. What should I do? So I'll see where is my contacts tab, hit the contacts tab, start creating a new record. Click the new button, start filling all the fields. Okay, but I really don't have that much of time to navigate between these tabs, click on new button, fill all these fields, because initially whenever you are speaking with someone, right, they won't share their date of birth or to whom they are reporting to in the organization, all these things. I want to quickly create a record. For that, you just go to this plus symbol. See, these are all the global actions. If I say click on this new contact, it will show me only the basic field that it needs. Validation, first name, last name, email, phone, which is something which is definitely given by any business user, so that you can quickly create it. This global actions is also called as quick actions. Okay, pause this. If you want to learn Salesforce, come here and go to the guidance center where it will navigate to the Salesforce course center where they might charge around 2000 or 3000 US dollars per course, whether it is admin or development, whatever. Okay. Then this is an advanced inspector. It will show you the health of your org. So how many so actually we have something called system overview where we can check all of them. But if you still want to examine the org at a high level, like how many enhancements you have done, how many access management you have, how many object management you have, you can come here and look at it. So we will discuss about it maybe after almost at the end of your admin part, so that that time we'll have a proper idea on this. Okay. And if you have any questions when you're working on, then you can raise the tickets. You can connect with the people from help and training. But this works only for the paid users. Okay. You cannot raise a ticket to Salesforce using the help and trainings because you are the free user. Next one is the gear icon, which will allow me to access multiple things. So we'll discuss about setup first. So whatever the transaction that I want to do on the system, I can do using this setup screen. When I hit this setup screen, the entire configuration or even the customization on this particular org, whether it is creating another user or creating another application or an object, everything will be done using this setup screen. Okay, so most of our time will be spent on setup screen going forward. Okay, here I can look for how many applications are there. Do I need to create a new application? Do I need to create a new object or a tab? Everything will be the starting point is setup screen itself. Okay, and bell icon I don't have. Sorry, again if I go to the same gear icon, it shows me service server. So when Salesforce launched, right? So it has mainly concentrated on two things. One is sales and the other one is service. And there are some specific features which are dedicated to Service Cloud. And those Service Cloud features will be there over here. Okay. So we'll see these features as well. So today I'm not explaining anything in detail. So I'm just trying to make sure that you can understand what all the high level points that you have in Salesforce screens. Okay. And then you have something called developer console. This is something which is very important for any of the developers. So yesterday someone asked Ram, are you gonna teach us the development on the IDE of Salesforce or any of the editors? So for me it doesn't matter whether you are learning the technology on the IDE or the editor, because if it is an editor I just have to open this Visual Studio and start writing it, or you just have to connect the org here and start writing your logics. I think actually I'm just trying to reinstall, doing some installations, but yeah, so you will see all the code here once everything is sorted, but the same code can be written inside Salesforce within the developer console itself. Okay, you can create your own Apex classes, UI components, triggers, all these things. And in fact, I can start querying the records here as well. If you are clear with the developer console, you can work with any of the editors. Okay, and then next one is bell icon, which will show you the notifications. And like if you have any, for example, it says I'm the approval request for this particular record is pending, so it will show me all the notifications. Post this, I have my settings. Logout, I don't have to explain. If I go to settings, I can see a lot of personal settings. Like you can see the details of your your username and all. And if you want to go to the advanced user details, to which profile you belong to, what is your role, all these things also can be seen. And for example, if I want to provide access to my system admin and to the Salesforce people, I can provide the access. I can see my login history. Yesterday, I told you right, like what is the IP address, how I logged in, what is the URL that I have utilized. All these things will be traced easily. Okay, so there are multiple other options also. So we will discuss in future. Any questions till now? Anyone?
I have a question on that global search which you said.
Yeah.
So it is very obvious we search for the records very frequently, right? So whenever you're searching for something, it is searching throughout the org, you said, right?
Yes.
So if you're searching so many times, very often, if it is searching all the org all the time, it is there is a performance kind of stuff, right? Um, because if it is a new org, there are very less number of records, but if it is a very structured org, there are so many records, right? So if it is searching entire
Mhm.
org, it is very hard for there arises like a performance issue, right?
Uh, no, because this is the default feature given by Salesforce. It's a configuration part, right? It is directly connected to your data, so there won't be any
Um,
performance issue.
no, no, no. What I mean to say is like, other than searching an entire org, is there any other option like if we can search in particular tab or so?
It says
Because
no.
there
I'm
is.
on the contacts. See, I'm on the contacts. It says search for contacts and more. Or if you go here, you can search for you can bind it to a particular object.
Okay, okay. You can filter it out. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? In creating the org or just having a high level walkthrough? Or if someone would like to share the screen and create an org, because I didn't create an org, I have just shown you the steps. But if someone would like to share your screen and create an org, you're most welcome now. Okay.
Okay, let me do it, Ram. I'm good. Let me share the screen.
I just gave you the presenter access.
Okay.
Yep, I can see it.
First
Uh,
we have to.
Go to developer.salesforce.com. So you can register from salesforce.com website as well, but there it is directly. I mean, that website is mainly for the customers, which means
Okay.
I will try for the org and I'll be getting a free edition, which is a trial edition. Will be there only for 30 days. Within the 30 days, I have to speak to Salesforce and buy a license. But here, developer.salesforce.com is specific to developers where you can create the org, which is a lifetime edition. Okay. But there is no difference. Whatever the features that you see on the Salesforce org, you'll see the same thing here. Only thing is, like here, you'll have some limitations on the amount of data that you can store and the number of users you can create. Okay, that's the only difference. Can you do a sign up?
Maybe I can
Huh?
minimize this one.
On the left top corner, I think that GoToMeeting window is blocking you. Sorry, on the right
Ah,
top corner, next to that search bar, you
yeah,
have a
this is
sign up button.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, start providing your details.
Oh, is this mandate?
Yeah, but you can give anything. You can give directly sales with itself. It doesn't matter. It won't verify.
Let me try this. Mhm.
You can give your email ID itself, because it must be in the form of an email. That's it. But you can give so Jancy at salesforce.com or salesforcehire.com or whatever.
So it cannot be like this, like our Gmail
You
ID.
can.
It
It
can be,
must be
right?
in a form of an email. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So that I'm giving this so that I can remember it.
Yeah. Sign up now. So you should have got an email. If you go to updates on your Gmail, it will be there. Can you search for support at the rate salesforce.com in the search mail?
Not yet.
Check out in spams.
Just give me 1 minute, I'll be back.
Jancy, check out in your spam emails. I think you haven't got it. Go to social tab instead of primary. Nope, you didn't got it. Try one more time.
Okay, I think I got it. I got it on my phone. I'm seeing it. Yeah. Is Ram back? Should I try or?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a sign.
Hello? Sorry. Ideally, it should have taken to a login page directly.
No. I got the email and I came through the verify link.
No, when the moment you verify, right, it will
Uh-huh.
directly take you to the moment after your verification is done, it would
Mm-hmm.
have directly taken to the home screen of Salesforce. But it's okay.
Uh,
Uh, you
okay.
can either register your mobile number or you don't. You can say that you can remind later as well. So what happens if you give your mobile number here? Next time, whenever you are trying to log in, it will send an OTP to yours. Only when you provide it will work. Okay. By the way, don't allow
Oh,
the
really?
notifications going forward because when you're practicing, right? Not now, maybe in future. The moment you practice, like you might have to create. I mean, you will create some extra logs also.
Okay.
So you'll get too many unnecessary notifications if you enable it on your browser.
Or is there no
Okay.
way to keep them off
I
later in the
mean, you
settings?
have to go to the setup, and I mean, in your Chrome setup, you can switch it off later.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. So, yep, this is how you'll access. But next time when you're trying to log in, you can directly go to login.salesforce.com. Now you don't have to go to this developer and then log in and all. So this is much easier. Okay, you close this pop-up. So as I told you yesterday, the moment you buy a license, consider that okay, we bought a license now. So go to App Launcher and click on View All. You will be able to see more or less the same number of applications that I have in my own org also. See, of course, I have created a couple of custom apps. Those custom apps won't be visible to you, but rest all the other applications are visible to you.
These are the default ones.
Yes. And these are built at the market standards. And Salesforce says that if you want to use any of them, you'll use it, or you can build your own. Or if you feel that, okay, for example, the sales application. So, sales, it has a generic process which says that generally, if you go with the a market standard sales application, how it works is first, I'll do marketing, then I'll get some inquiries. I'll talk to them. I'll make them my customers, and they'll start buying my products. This is how a general life cycle of a sales application, right? But I may or may not follow the same thing everywhere, right? So I might in all the organizations. For example, if you go to an organization like okay, let's go to this cards. So if I go with a small or I would say companies like maybe a Swift or so, they have to provide the ads on all the new models that they're doing, right? At least 6 months prior of the launch, they'll start saying that this model is coming, that model is coming, and all. They have to do a lot of advertisement, a lot of marketing, so that people will come to know about the product. They'll come back and start buying your product, I mean, buying your car. But have you ever seen a single ad posted by Rolls Royce? Does it mean that they are into losses? No, they don't have to because they have created a brand like that, right? People will go behind Rolls Royals and then they'll start buying. But unlike other companies in the market who are regularly giving the ads, right? So everyone has their own strategy. Now you can't simply go to Rolls Royce and say, "Hey, no, this is not the process that you have to follow to sell your product. You should provide an ad. You should conduct a webinar and all." They'll say, okay, we know what to do. Please get out of our company, right? But if I go there with Salesforce and say that this is the standard sales process that you have to follow, they don't need it, correct? But sometimes I feel that okay, I have customers, I need to talk to them, convince them, all these things are needed, but I don't have a thing, something called creating this campaigns or getting the inquiries and all that is not required. I have my customers directly. So which means only 60 to 70% of the standard sales application given my Salesforce is working for me. Rest all is not required. Salesforce say okay, use it. And now someone like Rajesh says that Ram, 70% okay, but the other 30% I want to customize. And Salesforce will say, okay, you can start doing customization also on the existing application. Why? Because if Jhansi has created this org, whatever the modifications that Jhansi is doing will be limited to her org. See, you have seen a similar screen, similar applications even when I'm sharing my screen, but it doesn't mean that whatever the record that I'm creating in my org will be shared across chances of. But can you open sales application again? Go to sales and search for United again or any application for that matter. Okay, enter. See, more or less you'll see the same this thing, same output. How come, Ram? I just created the org. I didn't created any records because as you have created the org for the first time, so there might be chances that you have to learn a lot of features. For example, reports and dashboards. So what Salesforce did is, along with giving you the standard application, standard objects, and some, it will even gives you some standard set of data as well, just for our understanding. Okay. Using this, we will make use of this data when we are creating reports and dashboards in future. Yeah.
Yeah, Ram, I have one question here. So I am creating a new application to utilize as usual sales application. So sales, what we have all the objects. So is there any
Mhm.
way I can import all the sales and objects at a time, or do I need to pick up one by one if I'm creating a new application?
Uh, you don't have to import. It's just a matter of enabling a tab on an application and show you how it works. It's a simple process.
Yeah, I'm saying like not only objects and records. I want to import. I want to enable all sales objects, fields, record types in my application.
The
When I
moment you enable the tabs,
Mhm.
see, for example, if you go to you're in sales application, right? So on Jan's screen, I can see opportunities, or I can see accounts. Who is account? Account is a customer basically. Now, Jansi, can you switch to service application?
So we have to go in there again.
Yeah, go to app launcher and search for service and enable it. Yeah, first one. Same object is used even in service also. Accounts, contacts. So there is no difference. Whatever the account table or the account object that you have seen in sales is enabled even in account or even in service also. None of the objects are tightly binded with any of your application. You can use the same object in multiple applications. And if I have created 10 record types in account object, that persists only with the account object. Whether you use that account object in sales, service, or some XYZ application, the moment you are creating a record, it will ask you whatever the definition that you have defined for account object, it will follow the same definition. Okay? Account say objects are not restricted to your applications. Application is nothing but just an umbrella which will show you the list of tabs or objects that you have in that application. That's it. It doesn't mean that object obey the entire application policy. No. Is that clear?
Yeah, I got it. Just I mean to say, while creating, can I get all the tabs at a time instead of creating one by one? That was my
We can,
question.
right? We can. But yeah, I don't want to confuse other people because
Okay,
that is a bit ahead. So we'll see when we are defining an application.
sure.
Actually, I'm a little bit lost here. Like, when you're creating a record in contacts,
Mhm.
you mean that record is available in the contacts tab all over the org? You mean in any application like service,
Yes.
sales, everywhere?
Yep. Correct. That is how it should be, right? For example, in sales, I'm your customer. Okay. When you are selling the product, I bought your product and I'm your customer, of course. But now, let us say in that product, I have seen some issue. I'll raise a concern. I'll raise a ticket saying that, okay, there is a problem in the product, or I might need some other service about that product. Maybe a general servicing I need. For example, again, I'll go with back to the same example like car. I bought a car in the showroom, so I'm their customer. I've given them an opportunity. Deal is done. I got the car, using it properly. And during that time, the showroom person, the salesman says that, sir, after using the car at least for 2 months or 3 months, you should come back for a service. right? A general service or whatever. So I'll go back. Now I'm raising a ticket, right? So this ticket has to be captured in this is the service process now, right? So I might ask them to change the tires or maybe some lights, whatever, right? The service. Now I'll go to this service application and they'll start creating a case on my name. Case is nothing but a service request. Okay, it's not an FIR or so. Just all the service requests will be captured in the case object. Now, when I'm creating a case, can you go to case? Go to case tab. Click on new button. When you are creating a case request, it will ask you who is your customer. What is the point of contact? The customer is nothing but account, and point of contact is the contact person. So now,
So,
if
okay,
I'm not showing,
you can
yeah,
pick up that contact record here.
yes, yes. So if these tabs are specific to your application, and if I'm not showing Ram's contact here, then what is the point of going with this application itself?
Yeah, yeah, that
You
makes sense.
can't ask the
Yeah,
person to create the record again for another application, right? We are in the org. Okay.
got it.
Yeah. It is like let's say I bought a chair in my flat. Okay, I can use the same chair anywhere in the flat, right? I can keep it in the hall or a kitchen or dining or even in my bedroom also whenever required. Correct? Same thing here also. Clear? Else you have to maintain unnecessary duplicates. And of course, you are paying the license amount to Salesforce, right? And it will even count the amount of data that you are storing.
So Ram,
Okay.
can't deduplication assignment if you have duplications?
We can.
Oh,
I'm not sure who is this, Mahinder. I think you are already practicing. I'm
yeah,
not saying that don't ask questions, but please don't confuse people. So we'll cover all those concepts. Don't worry.
sure. Well,
Because this is just a first session, right? So if we are asking a bit advanced questions, or I think people will get confused. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow we'll see one standard application and we'll discuss about some application our system, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, we will define our own application on an Excel and then we'll see how do we develop in the Salesforce. Okay, any questions, anyone? Okay, then. See you tomorrow then. Bye, everyone.
yeah, Ram, one question. Do you have only one batch at this moment, or any other batches later, or you are morning? I'm ending up with meetings, so till 8 p.m. CST, I may not be available. So I'm just checking timings.
Um, as of now, I don't have,
Uh-huh.
but just speak to the consultancies. I think we are planning for another batch in my evenings, which is your morning.
Oh, okay.
Just
Mhm. Okay, speak to them. Thank you.
thank you. Thanks, everyone.